What's up, guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectible Reviews, coming at you this week with another figure review. We are going to be skipping our weekly toy hunt. As most of you know, I had knee surgery recently. I'm not able to get out on the hunt consistently yet, but we are getting very close. Probably in the next few weeks, we'll be able to get back to our regularly scheduled toy hunts. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring you a really cool review of a figure that is brand spanking new. We've got Leonardo as the Hunchback. This is the ultimate action figure from NECA, part of the TMNT Universal Monsters crossover line, and these are fantastic. As most of you have already seen, we've already gotten a Raphael in this figure line. Today we're taking a look at Leo, and tomorrow we'll be taking a look at April O'Neil as the bride of Frankenstein. So stay tuned for that, but let's focus on the guy in the spotlight today. That is Leonardo. Awesome artwork here on the front. You can see we got Leo as the Hunchback right here on the front of this. Really cool artwork. Not sure who did the artwork, but it's very nice looking. As we flip around to the side, we got some additional artwork of other figures that will be coming. We got Michelangelo as the Mummy, and then these are kind of blacked out, which April is actually out. We have her in hand. We got Splinter, and then I'm thinking that's probably Donnie maybe. Seems like Donnie was going to be the Invisible Man. As we spin around the back, we get product images here showing what Leo comes with, showing that opening shell feature. Got a pretty cool little write-up here, see what's lurking in the shadows. He has a mind for monsters. It's very throwbackish to me, very throwbackish to Universal Monsters. And if you've ever seen any of the NECA if you've ever seen any of the NECA commercials that they've done for this action figure line, it is really, really cool. It really is a 80s, 90s type commercial. It's very cool what they've done with that. As we spin around to this side, a little more branding for Leo as the Hunchback, TMNT Universal Monsters there on the side. And one cool thing about NECA, we all know if you've collected NECA, they love the flaps you can open to reveal your figure, and this one is no different. So you've got some nice product imaging here on the left, and then you open it up to show off your Leo here with all of his accessories. Got a little bit of a loose sword there, appears to be fine. Let's go ahead, we're gonna crack this guy out of his packaging. Let's see what we got. All right, guys, we got Leo out of his packaging. Let me tell you, first impressions are impressive. Very, very happy with this guy. Remarkably, he's standing pretty well, and I'm not gonna promise he's not gonna fall over at some point in this review. As you can see, he has a large shell on his back. We'll talk more about that here in a bit. But he is a little bit back heavy, but the balance is undeniably there. Let's talk about accessories. As you've already seen, you've got his two katana. Both of these look really good. They have paint pretty much from top to bottom on these. Very impressed by them. Got nice little kind of spike balls there at the base of that hilt, but looks really good. I mean, literally paint all the way up the blades, kind of gives them a little bit of a dirty, rustic effect. Paint on the hilt of that, brown and black wash. Looks really nice, some texture there. Same on this side, even a little bit of brown wash there, just to kind of give it that older, rustic look. Now, this is a really cool accessory here. This actually opens up to reveal the brain inside. That brain will pop off, so if you were wanting to, have him hold this brain in his hand, you can do so. Otherwise, there's just a peg hole there. Pop that in the peg hole, pop that back into the container. Looks awesome. Painted all the way down to the gauges on it. It looks really, really nice. This tube that runs, as you can see, is just a soft plastic. Got a couple translucent plastic flame effects here. These are made for the swords. Not sure how well you can see that, but there's a porthole that is shaped the same as the sword here. You basically would just run the sword up into the flame to give you the flame effect on the end of the sword. That looks really cool. So this definitely is an option, I think, as far as for me personally, as far as how I may post this guy. I really like the flame there on the sword. You get two shovels. Now some of these you cannot actually see from outside the box. There was a small package of accessories underneath the clamshell that he was in. So you've got two shells here. These look, again, fantastic, painted from top to bottom. NECA really killed this. Silver paint with kind of a brown wash to give off kind of the rusty, dirty dirt look for these. Very, very nice. They are a hard plastic. They don't bend. Very nice quality. We get a skull, a very nice skull. Hollowed out eyes, painted black all inside. Looks really good. The detail on this is phenomenal. Kind of wish they'd put some of these in with some of the spawns that they're doing. A very nice bone here. Now this bone looks like it would be able to come apart, but it doesn't. That's just a crack in the bone, but it is very nice. Again, painted in kind of a bone color, like an antique white, and then just shaded with a brown. Tons of paint here, guys. I love the paint that we're getting. Now, we're paying a little more for NECA, obviously, nowadays. You know, these figures run about $37 retail. But when you think about the fact that our Marvel Legends are pushing that $27, $28 range with typically no paint, and then your NECA figures are completely painted almost from top to bottom in some instances, such as these, you're paying maybe $10 more. In my opinion, the value's there. If we gauge the true price of these figures and you compare them, I really believe the value's there for these right now. Now, that's not to say that I want to pay $37 for a figure. I don't. I think these should be $26 like they used to be, but I'm just comparing it to other companies out there and what they're offering versus what NECA's bringing to us right now. So we got some hand options. We got a pair of sword holding hands here. We got a pair of pointing hands, and we got a pair of fist hands. Straight out of packaging, he comes with those open, relaxed hands, much like our Raphael came with, much like many of us pose our Raphael with, kind of in that Frankenstein pose. All right, so it's time to bring this guy in for his close-up. Let's take a look at the details on this Leo figure, and they are phenomenal. Look at this guy. Literally one of the best figures I've seen in 2022. So happy about this. Got real nice details here on the face. The eyes are jacked. This eye over here barely opened up. So cool looking. Has his bandana there, kind of falling to the side. Just look at the paint, guys. I mean, there is just non-stop paint on this figure. That is perfection in my opinion. Got a little bug there crawling up his tattered jacket. Got some gauntlets here, wristbands, whatever you want to call them there, around his wrist. So I can see that hindering articulation slightly, but very nicely painted. Come on back here. This is really, I mean, just so much detail back here on the shell itself. Kind of where it looks like maybe he's cracked his shell and he's tried to repair it with some metal plating. Got a hinge over here. Again, nicely painted hinge. I actually have a lock over here on this side, which is pretty cool. Now, that lock does not actually lock his back shut. So just so you know that, I'll check that out. Spider inside. Unbelievable detail here. This is so cool. But you know, you would think that you may have to do something to manipulate the lock in order to open it. You don't. It just goes ahead and hinges open. So looks really good. Now, there are places in order to put some of these accessories. So if you wanted to store, you know, the brain inside of here, it does have a little peg hole there on the bottom. There's a peg there that you can see, so you can actually go ahead and put that on the inside. There's also a place up top here to, if you want to, you know, have the skull placed up here on the top, you can just peg that in to that peg. You know, so there's a lot of options here as far as what you can do with the open shell. So I think that is such a cool feature there to be able to have that shell as kind of a storage compartment or a display, even a display piece. Coming on back, it's got his chain shackles there around the left ankle, none on the right. I think that's plastic chain. It does not feel like it's metal. Whereas like what Raph has around his waist kind of feels like it might actually be metal. Got some staples there, kind of holding the pants together. So yeah, just a really, truly amazing piece here. I am so blown away here by what NECA is doing. Let's go ahead and let's run through articulation on this guy. We'll throw up some size comparisons. We'll wrap up this video. All right, guys, so looking at articulation, get the head down to about right there. Get the head up to pretty much just looking forward. We can get some side-to-side movement in there. Plenty of spin. All that's there. As far as his arms, not much up. So you can actually see here, if you look, it's not even really built out to be articulated very much there. We do have double jointed elbows. However, the elbow pads are going to prevent very much movement there as far as being able to get that around. If you heat some of this up, you might be able to get this a little higher. But again, I think these guys are not meant for dynamic posing. These are universal monsters. They're meant to be highly detailed and stand on your shelf. Put them in a pose and leave them. So we're gonna run through articulation, but I'm not gonna bash the articulation on this guy because I don't think that's the intention of this figure. We got spin there at the wrist. You got a hinge there at the wrist as well. So you can get your forward, backward, no problem. Obviously, you guys, I'm sure, would know and be able to tell this. There's no articulation here in the abdominal areas. We can get out to about right there. There's a spin at the upper thigh. There's a spin at the knee. We have, I think it's double jointed knees under there, but again, we're not going to get double joint range of motion because of the big knee pads. We do have a hinge or a swivel, shall I say, right there at the calf, and then down here at the, we don't actually have a swivel at the ankle, but we do have our pivot forward and back. That is pretty much the articulation on this guy. As you guys know, articulating hinge there on the shell. So there's the articulation on Leo. Very nice. Again, I don't think this guy was necessarily meant to be put in all kinds of dynamic poses. I think he's meant to look beautiful standing on your shelf, and that's exactly what he's going to do. This guy, right now, I have to say he's in my top 10 for 2022. I think he is that good. There is that much paint. There are so many accessories. The value is there for this guy. I think at this point, can't say he won't be pushed out at some point. He's in my top 10. So guys, there's a couple little swap outs there, or not swap outs, but we changed the hand out, put the sword with the flame on it, holding the skull there, just kind of showing you what some of these look like. Obviously, he can hold, any of the shovels without any issues at all. If you really wanted to, you could always put one of these pointing hands as well, have him pointing. So you got a lot of options with this guy. Let's go ahead and throw up some size comparisons. All right, so the most obvious size comparison here is his brother Raphael, or Raphael's Frankenstein. Looks amazing together, guys. I mean, you tell me down in the comments what you think here. Are you collecting these figures? I want to know your thoughts on this, but this looks phenomenal. I am not a huge fan of Universal Monsters. I have seen some of the different movies, some of the classic movies. Frankenstein. I've never seen Hunchback. My knowledge base on the Universal side of things is very limited. Obviously, if you watch my channel, I'm a massive fan of Ninja Turtles and have a somewhat rather large knowledge base. But the combination of these two things, I know there's a lot of history there. There's history with the Playmate toys with this, and that's a big thing. A lot of collectors really look for those figures. I think NECA coming in and doing this is just phenomenal. It brings in so many people into the TMNT universe that may not be big TMNT fans, and I think so many collectors and fans that may not be huge Universal Monster fans, it brings them into that universe as well. So just such an awesome collaboration here. Let's throw up a couple more comparisons. So there's a few more Leos for you. You got the NECA movie turtle Leonardo, and then the Super 7 Ultimates Leonardo. So you can see this guy's just huge. He's not that much taller than the NECA movie Leo, but he is just a massive piece of plastic. Look at the width of him in comparison to the other two figures. Those two figures are based on 7-inch scale as well. So it just shows you he's a big guy. Let's throw up your average 6-inch scale figure. We got the Mezco Wolverine and Black Suit Spidey. Guys, that wraps up today's review of Leo as the Hunchback from NECA. Again, I can't reiterate how much I really, really like this figure. There's a link down in the description of this video to Entertainment Earth. If you click that link, it'll take you over to your Leo Hunchback figure. If you're interested in picking him up, click that link, go purchase him. It also helps out the channel when you use those links in the description. Hit a like if you enjoyed this review video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, would love to have you a subscriber to the channel. We do weekly toy hunts, toy reviews. Again, we'll get back on the hunt here very soon. And I appreciate all your guys' well wishes as I'm in recovery mode right now. But things are going well. Hopefully we'll be on the hunt pretty soon. That is it for today, guys. I hope everyone has a good rest of your Saturday. Until next time.